Okay, that's maybe a little scary. So I was trying to do a paint bucket. And so one thing I figured out for doing this is I figured out how to make the canvas a lot bigger. Remember what we were using before? It was only like some 100 pixels wide and high.
Okay.
So this is like 3200 pixels wide and 2400 pixels high. And that way you can zoom in closer and do some more detail. Or one can.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And I can see where we are live right now.
I'm trying to zoom out so I can see your whole thing.
Do you have a scroll wheel on your mouse?
Yeah.
So I do it with control and then I scroll.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, I can see your circle. Trying to fill it in with blue. Have you gotten the paint bucket to work yet?
Not on this one. I've done it on other documents.
Why do you think it's not working on here?
I think we might just be too big. Or maybe because it's not a complete circle down at the bottom. So let me draw a line across the
Ooh,
bottom.
look at that. Yeah, maybe that's the problem.
Okay.
Still not working. Do, let's see.
Weird. Paint bucket should be like the easiest thing. Oh, okay, okay. Maybe it's just too big. The world's just too big. So that's all right. Let's just start over. Clean slate. Um, Boom. Okay. Brand new circle. And let's make it, let's give it an outline just in case whatevs. And I bet we won't be able to paint it. Yeah, the paint didn't work. That's okay.
Hey, I think I ruined your circle.
No, I deleted it.
Oh.
So the size,
I guess I need to, I guess I should stop. I should try my own.
oh no, it's all right. Whoop. We'll keep doing this until we get a filled in blue circle.
Okay.
So there's a way to fill it in. How do we fill it in?
I think, okay, I can fill things a circle in when it's a lot smaller. Like, I did, maybe you don't want a world that is that many pixels.
Well, I want to leave room for countries that have that many pixels. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so the world
But
just.
try a smaller map, and I think it'll fill in for you. Yeah, see, I swear, it's got like a limit on.
Yeah. That's all right. We'll just subdivide it so that we can paint it. Why are you making them red?
I'm just testing. Let's see. Here we go. Here's some blue.
The world of Redwater.
Oh, wow. Now that works, and that's really weird.
Found a bug.
A bug?
A bug in the software.
All right. Well, at least we know we can divide it and clean it up.
Yep.
I'm going to have to take that paintbrush now and wait.
Whoop.
Here we go. All right. So, what's the name of this one?
Well, I don't know. Let me see what we need to create. I'm gonna look at my spreadsheet of so worlds that exist: Tasala, Harval, Ard, Garnelon, Indrania, Phipps, Yevra. Let's do Indrania. You think?
Okay, and remind me, this one was...
This
Is this the world of...
King Ogfi's backers.
Okay.
And we said it has its day-night cycle is about 8 hours long. So they have fast days. We said that it was a moon around a gas giant. But that still leaves everything wide open, like how big it is and how warm or cold. Those all depend on different variables, and so it could totally be whatever climate and design.
Uh-huh. Now, have you thought maybe, since this is sort of an evil world, maybe you could make it a bit tormented? Like, would you want to do volcanoes and things on it?
I don't know, because the day-night cycle being 8 hours long is gonna torment people enough.
Okay.
Or maybe it wouldn't be torment. Maybe people would just sleep as much as they actually should and be well rested, and it would have a nice temperate climate all over the world. I don't know.
Well, I think maybe you could make it very troublesome when it comes to weather. Like, it's just a very hurricane-like planet. Loves to have storms.
Could be.
But it's your call.
We could also just say that we're not saying what world this is right now, and we could just start drawing and then decide that later.
All right.
Where am I going? I'm trying to... There we go. So, for conceptual reasons, I think I'm going to draw an equator. It could just totally be lying on its side as well. And what implications would that have for
Well, if you do that, and you also have it as a moon, it's definitely going to be a tormented world. Like, it's going to have some weird weather patterns.
Yeah, I know. What would they be like?
Well, maybe you could have, at one point, it gets really hot, and then at other times it gets kind of cold and kind of weathery, kind of really windy. You see, those variations are going to make this a very windy world. So I think this would be a good world where, like, it's not a place where normal people want to go, but some people have to live here because they didn't get to choose. This is where they were born.
Uh-huh.
You know, that could make them want to covet taking another planet for themselves to make them part of the villain.
That's not really in the story for them to want to take the planet. Rather, they want to own it so they can control its resources.
Okay.
Or at least part of it, you know. How do I draw a curved line? I mean, I can draw a curved line. I do it sometimes by accident, but how do I do it on purpose?
You mean like that?
No, just one side of it. I guess
Right.
we just color.
Yeah, just color the other part.
Really should have been black, I think. Okay. We are going so slow. But that's okay. I think about, yeah, we're going to get in there and do this, and I picture it happening a lot faster than it does.
Well, yeah, I don't know what to draw because I don't want to mess anything up that you would rather do.
Nope. Impossible. Have at thee.
Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to think. If its pole is always at the planet, or headed at the planet, what would its weather be like?
Yeah, I don't know.
So, are we going to say that, let's see, let me draw a bit up here, just do a little mark, that red mark is where it's always facing the planet, and it spins at its equator?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's also interesting, having one end always facing the planet, so like it's partially tidally locked.
Uh-huh.
But it's good. I like it. And then, yeah. It's kind of limited on... What? Oh. That's crazy. All right. Okay, we've got a continent.
All right.
So this, oh, man, that just really messes with my head. So I was thinking that, this planet has 8-hour day-night cycles, right? But if it's got one pole always facing the planet that it's revolving around,
Okay.
then it's sorry, my brain is breaking.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time understanding it too, or what its weather or what its environment would be like.
So maybe its revolutions could have an 8-hour cycle, but the actual day-night cycle would match its I guess its month revolving around the world that it goes around.
Okay.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I'm thinking. So
But-
may make it so they have long days.
Yeah, it's kind of the opposite of what I was thinking. But that's okay. Yeah, nice big fat brush, and I can do this. So I'm thinking with one pole facing towards the planet it's revolving around, because it's quasi-tidally locked, but it still revolves. Then it would be cool to have seismic activity affected by that. I mean, it would be. Really, it would be. So then, should the volcanoes pop up around the poles or around the equator?
I don't know. You might look up the planet or the moon Io, because that one is very volcanic.
But if it's tidally locked, it's probably going to have to be more solid on the face that is locked, right? So maybe this continent that I've drawn is like the seismically dead part of the planet. And as you go further away from the gas giant that it's revolving around, then you get more and more seismic activity.
Okay.
Who has it? Io?
Io, yeah. It's a volcanic moon of Jupiter.
Scientists to Io, your volcanoes are in the wrong place. Huh. Jupiter's moon, Io. This is from NASA.gov. Jupiter's moon Io is the most volcanically active world in the solar system, with hundreds of volcanoes, some erupting lava fountains up to 250 miles high. However, concentrations of volcanic activity are significantly displaced from where they are expected to be based on models that predict how the moon's interior is heated, according to NASA and European Space Agency researchers. Well, they're talking about how it's heated. That's a whole different... I mean, it's a different question. It's going to be affected by if it's tidally locked, or it's going to affect that, but whatevs.
Now, looking at the planetary orbit of this moon, it seems like the place that's going to be most livable is on its equator, where it gets it's not too hot, not too cold.
Uh-huh.
Does that make sense? Okay.
So there's... Let me think about this. As you've got the gas giant revolving around the sun, and then this world revolving around the gas giant, then it's gas giant's months, meaning how fast this world revolves around its host gas giant, are the same length as the days at the South Pole. We'll call it South, we didn't decide, whatever. Currently on our drawing, up and down. So, well, and really the whole world is going to have that length. So the month and the day are the same. But while we have the star off over there somewhere. It's a rather orange star. I didn't see yellow. I should make it yellow. That's better. I'm going to put it in space. Oh, wait, that's not real black. Why? Why do they do that? So this planet's not going to have polar ice caps.
Huh. Well, hold on. Yeah, it's really hard to think about what it would be like, actually.
That's why I'm drawing the space around it. Okay.
Have you ever talked to anyone who does astronomy?
About this?
Well, about any of your worlds.
Not really. Okay, so we have this gas giant over here. And I messed up. I messed up because the world's supposed to be always pointing at the gas giant with that pole.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can rotate it. Oh. Whoa. I see. But it's... Improvement? I don't think I can rotate it, but I can sure mess it up. See? Alright, I'll undo it.
Whoa.
I should... Bah! Okay, I'm going to erase this world. I mean, the gas giant. I'm just going to erase it. We'll just have to conceptualize it.
think I might know how to do it. You want me to try?
What are you going to try?
Okay, so in the edit, if you do cut layer, you can do an outline of it, and then you can choose to
I
flip
got it.
and do a...
I got it. Look. I can expand the canvas.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Nice. Alrighty. Okay. Let's put that red dot of yours back on there. Boop. Or even sticking out there. There's a giant candle at the North Pole. Oh. Send it. Okay. And then okay, this is a very, very rough concept of our gas giant up there. Okay, so there's going to be some radiation coming from the gas giant. I don't know what kind of shielding this world is going to have. We talked about volcanic activity, we talked about seismic activity, so it has a molten core. so we can go ahead and say yes, it has a magnetosphere. But one thing I learned recently actually is that the northern lights are a result of our sun's rays, or our is it the solar wind, or is it just, I think it's the solar wind. Any radiation from the sun, some of it skates along the magnetosphere, the ionosphere. I don't remember the particulars, I'm sorry. And I like to know science, so I really should know this. Anyway, so they skate along a little bit closer to the poles because the magnetosphere, or the magnetic field of the Earth, shields better around the sides, not at the poles. So at the poles, the magnetic field is weaker, or maybe it's not weaker, but it doesn't block radiation so much. So I think things won't live very well at the North Pole, which is pointed directly at this planet that's going to be producing some radiation. Or maybe it's not producing radiation. I mean, it's an invented system here. So maybe that gas giant is maybe it has a layer that soaks up radiation from lower layers. I don't know. Whatever. So, but the thing is, there's not a lot of currents up here. There aren't ocean currents, right? And so, how do I get back? Because it's far away from the ocean, it's going to be kind of desert-like. I don't know. But there's
I try to put some grain on the equator where the temperature stays okay.
Uh-huh. Haha. Okay, so here's the thing. During part of the month, the equator's day-night cycle is indeed about 8 hours. So you can picture as this world revolves around the gas giant, when it's kind of on either side of the gas giant, then you're going to have a regular day-night cycle, you know? Whereas when it's in front of or behind the gas giant, then you're going to have the equator experiencing long days and nights. And the pole will just be stuck. Either the pole will be stuck in either day or night. So that's something else. The South Pole would be exposed to a very long day every month. For like a quarter of the month, it would be facing the sun with nothing shading it. The North Pole would be at night that entire time with a good strong glow, so it wouldn't be a dark night. It'd be a bright night with a good strong glow from the host gas giant. Now, when the world is away from the sun, so like it could wind up in the shadow of the gas giant, and then everything would just be cold.
That would be lunar eclipse.
Yes, from the gas giant's perspective. So yeah, a lunar eclipse would be cold,
right?
but it doesn't happen all the time. You know, so it's not freezing. It's not freezing for a quarter of every month all over the world. You know, it's chilly a quarter of the month on the South Pole. It's chilly a quarter of a month on the North Pole. Yeah. So I'm trying to think, and I see you've been naming places, and I like that. I've been trying to think of how this astronomy will affect the way life has developed on this world, the way it shapes itself around this world's astronomical configuration.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, I think, is definitely going to be the most technical world we have by far, or probably will be.
Yeah.
A lot to think about. You might want to talk to some friend who does astronomy about what the implications of its environment would be like in such a situation.
So I'm that's what I'm trying to think about right now. Let's go ahead. I talked about radiation earlier. Let's go ahead and throw that in the garbage. Let's say that this world has the gas giant has a layer that shields any radiation that would come from underneath. Then it's just the heat and the cold. Now I realize, Sam, you've got to go soon. Wow. So if you were to place a platform between worlds on this world, where would you place it, looking at what we've got here? Would it...
Well, in the place where people are living, on the equator.
Yeah, and I'm thinking one of these bigger land masses, whether it's Gidhamer or in Carutham, or near there at least. But if this is Indrania, and Indrania, they're kind of imperialistic. So
okay, yeah, that's what's thinking.
They could... I mean, really, they could be anywhere. So it doesn't really matter. But since Aeschylus made contact with Indrania, they are not far from the platform. Their nation is not located far from the platform on this world. I think if I were arriving at this world to construct a platform, I would want it in a place that's nice, where it gets nice weather. So it's going to be around the equator.
Yeah, I guess it's just kind of technical. I have to keep thinking about it because you said you wanted it to have 8-hour days, and I'm trying to think of how that'll happen.
Well, I mean, that's just saying the world spins fast. So that'll happen.
Okay.
But those 8-hour day-night cycles are going to be variable, because if you picture the gas giant, if you are the gas giant and you look at the sun and you hold two arms out to the sides, when this world is where your hands are, then you have that regular cycle for the equator. But if you turn 90 degrees and now one hand is close to the sun and one hand is far away, the equator, you have the poles pointing towards the sun. And so the equator is going to be split kind of between night and day. And it's going to see the sun on the horizon bobbing a little bit like you see in videos from Alaska.
Okay. Well, I have to get going now.
Okay. And I think...
Do you want to talk tomorrow, or should we just wait a little bit?
We'll see. Maybe tomorrow. I would like to. I think I want to put Indrania where I just put this blue dot.
Okay.
I should make that a black dot.
Just send me a notice tomorrow when you want to meet, or yeah.
Okay.
When you want to talk.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll reach out.
Talk to you later.
Whew. Thanks, Sam. Talk to you later.